Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Soul Seekers podcast, where we believe that hunting has the power to transform lives through primal adventure, as we share our mission of mentorship is conservation. To learn more about everything we do, check out our show on Carbon TV or go to soulseekersnation.com. Freedom on, everybody, and stay soulful. Do you want to become a better shooter, reduce flinch, protect your ears, and just overall enjoy shooting your gun that much more? Then there's no better way to do that than by adding a suppressor to the end of your barrel. Be sure to check out Huxwrx Safety Co, as they are a leader in the suppressor world with their OSS Flow-Through Technology, virtually eliminating blowback and toxic gas that can affect weapon system performance and shooter health. To find out more about Huxwrx, go to huxwrx.com. That's huxwrx.com, and go get yourself a suppressor for your upcoming hunts. This podcast is also proudly brought to you by OnX Hunt. When I first got into hunting, I kept hearing all about public land and different access and how to find different locations to hunt. I was like, well, how are people even identifying all this stuff? Well, sure enough, I came across the #1 hunting GPS app, and that is OnX Hunt. If you guys want to get better at hunting and go deeper into your scouting, OnX Hunt is the #1 GPS app for that. Join the millions of hunters who trust OnX Hunt to find more game, discover new access, and hunt smarter. It was a game changer for me, and I know it's going to be a game changer for you if you've never used it. If you have used it, you know the power that it holds. Guys, I really hope you enjoy this episode. If you want to know more about OnX, go to onxmaps.com/hunt. And check out their app. Be blessed, freedom on, and stay soulful. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Soul Seekers podcast. I'm your host, Johnny Mack, and I am joined once again for another live episode from the Western Hunting and Conservation Expo here in Salt Lake City with my man, the Hollywood himself. Before I introduce this guy all the way, so I'm a huge fan and proponent of initial scent backpacks. You can actually save 5% on your purchase by using the code SOULSEEKERS, all one word, at initialscent.com. But Initial Ascent Backpacks promotes the Hollywood Dave method of packing out meat. The man can pack out an entire elk in one go because not only his brawn, like how physically strong he is, but their packs. But we're joined by Hollywood Dave Beronio. He is the man, myth, legend, and we finally locked him down after over a year of trying to do a podcast together.
Yeah, it's been a long time, man. It's good to see you.
Thanks for joining me for the show.
The expo is such a great place for all of us to come back together. All the friends that are, across the country and in different places, and we come here and we're able to see each other. At least we know we can run into everybody one time a year at this place.
Yes.
And let me just regress a little bit. When you say he can pack a full elk, I can pack a full cow elk, but a bull is a little bit different story. I did two different trips hauling a full cow elk out, and one of them was 3 miles. So
wow.
So just so people don't think it's a bull, no, it's a cow. No, but with those packs have definitely changed my game as a guide and a hunter.
Yeah.
Not only do I like to carry all my clients' stuff, but I just so their hands are free and they're ready to go, so they're not fumbling around with a backpack.
Right.
It's a tool of my trade, and if I can get in and out quick,
yeah.
Wearing something that feels like a day pack, and I won't put a day pack on my back if I can't haul out at least a full deer.
Yeah.
And I can do that on that pack.
I mean, not to make this a whole Initial Scent fanboy session right here, but when I put on their pack for the first time, I was like, done. Never go another one. I used to sell backpacks at REI. Like my first experience packing out an animal, 9 miles, black bear, bone in, all meat, all bone, and hide, cape, head. Put it in my North Face backpack. Everything fell straight to the bottom, just a giant ball
of mud and blood. And
it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life.
Yeah.
I mean, I've ran 40 miles in a day. Like, I've done some ultra type stuff. I've done a lot of hard things, but that pack out was the worst.
Yeah, it is incredible. And, we won't go too much more into it, but just the way you can pack the meat on that pack so that it balances your spine. Like I've said, the weight over the balls of your hip, spine in alignment. I'm almost 48 years old, and I feel stronger and better. I used to have back problems, and I know that I was thinking, man, how long am I going to be able to do the pack outs that I do? And this has alleviated that lower back pain.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you're packing 30, 40, 50, it depends on what my year is going like guiding, where I'm at, whether it's, New Zealand, Mexico, Idaho, Utah, Nevada, wherever I'm guiding. So
we kind of jumped into this backpack thing, but I want to talk about your history. Like you're a hunting guide. This is what a soul recognizes another soul. And when I met Dave, I was like, there's something special about this fella. We're both ordained ministers.
Yeah.
Reverend Night Train, Reverend Beronio.
Reverend Wood.
There you go. I love it. So what's your history? Were you raised a hunter?
Yeah, no, absolutely. My dad was a subsistence hunter. When he was growing up and he was in college, he was shooting deer and pigs and diving for abalone and getting clams.
Really?
So he living off the land because they couldn't afford food.
And where was this at?
This was in California.
Okay.
When he was growing up, and then growing up in Nevada, for me, my dad was always duck hunting and deer hunting. Putting meat on the table because I don't think I had beef until I was 13.
Really?
So it was all just organic meats, and then. So that was my passion, but I grew up ski racing, so I was on the mountain, and a lot of at an elite level, it kept me from, spending a lot of time being able to go hunting, because a lot of our preseason training and camps was during hunting season, and then I'm in school, and you can't miss that, and so I would get out for a few deer hunts a year and some duck, pheasant, whatever with Dad, but it wasn't until I got into college where I could make my own schedule. And I went there on a ski racing scholarship, and so I really had to, figure out my time. But I was always in the field any time I had. So getting into the history of how I really got into it was, it's one of those things where like-minded men, individuals who are out there soul seeking.
Yes.
Everybody knows Trevin Stoltzfus with Outback Outdoors.
Okay.
And the show on the Sportsman's Channel, many years ago when he was with another show, he contacted me in Nevada saying, hey, I really want to apply for Nevada, do a high country hunt. A friend of mine said that you were a nice guy, you could possibly help me out. I said, well, why don't I just apply both of us together? You're a non-resident, I'm a resident. I've got a couple points. I don't have any idea who this guy is. So, just taking a leap of faith and helping a brother out.
Yeah.
I said, let's apply together. We ended up drawing, and I did all the research on where we needed to go, who was going to pack us in. It was a 13-mile, horse trip in. The first time I met him was at the hotel the night before, getting on a horse and packing in. It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
You take a leap of faith. And so that transitioned into a friendship. And then with a few other guys, we were part of Outback Outdoors. And that for 10, 11 years, I think, was one of the co-hosts. And through that, I met Daniel Richens with the R&K Hunting Company. And because we did a couple DIY paid trespass fees to get on the property and hunt. And we did that two different years. So I got to know Daniel, and I liked what his operation was all about, and that's how I got into guiding. He said, if you ever want to guide when you're not doing Outback Outdoors and hunting, I'd love to have you as a part of. And there's a lot of little things in between all this. This is kind of the short story.
Yeah.
So, the next year, I said, Daniel, I'd like to do that. I was really worried about being a guide and being stuck with a not so great guy to be up on the mountain, because you hear those horror stories.
Yes.
But I went into it with the mindset that I have the opportunity, even if I don't have a great client, to call elk and to glass deer and to fine tune my craft. And so that's where I went into it. But it was also, you're living in service to other people,
right?
In regards to passing it on and helping them, get their game. So if you live a life in service, no matter what you do, if you're serving to help somebody fulfill one of their goals or one of their needs, and you're in service to them, you can never go wrong. You're always going to win. And so being in service to these guys, it allowed me to get on the mountain, like I said, fine-tune my craft, but also you have the opportunity to change somebody's life. And if they come with a bad attitude or they've got an ego or whatever else, you have the opportunity through your words and your wisdom and how you treat them on the mountain and so on and so forth. And, a hard day of hunting can be humbling to some of these guys. So it gives us that platform. So the first year guiding, it was 3 weeks of guiding, right? And then after that, Daniel said, I loved what happened while you were here.
Yeah.
Do you want to run this? And so I took over the Queen Mountain Lodge in Wyoming, and for over a decade, I ran that with the different guides there, which is a solid team. R&K has just some of the greatest guides in there, going to all 5 different properties. It's just a great operation.
What's up, Soul Seekers Nation? Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I really appreciate it. As a reward, I have some discount codes for you to use if you are in the market for a brand new hunting pack. Go check out initialascent.com and Initial Ascent packs. They are made in America. Their one-piece carbon frame is an absolute game changer. We run their packs. We love them. And you can save 5% at checkout by using the code SOULSEEKERS. That's all one word. Also, for those of you who are archery hunters and you are tired of shooting at dots on a target, check out deadnutsoutdoors.com for their lifelike 2D archery targets. You can save 20% on all of their products by using the code SOULSEEKERS at checkout. Once again, the code is SOULSEEKERS, all one word. Go check out initialascent.com and Dead Nuts Outdoors. Enjoy the podcast.
So I did that for over a decade, and then we acquired another piece of property in Utah. So Daniel asked if I would spearhead that at that lodge and that operation, and that's kind of where it went into. And through just the chain of meeting people and who's who and where you go, and like I said, when you lead in service, you meet those people that are in the same, cut from the same cloth. So that opened up, guiding in New Zealand, guiding in Idaho, guiding in Mexico, guiding in, all these other opportunities just kind of came in from living that life. And it was really interesting. Before I let you speak, I'm just kind of going through the quick version. Talking to some guys last night about the Initial Ascent packs, and they said, dude, you're living the greatest life. I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have, I love to hunt, but you're living it every day of your life, no matter where you are or what you do. And you put your boots on, you put your backpack on, and you're going one way or the other, or you're traveling to and from, and you're living this beautiful life. And that does come with sacrifice. But I said, man, it's all relative. You put on your own boots. Nobody can stand in your shoes. So this is your journey. Don't compare it to me. Don't compare it to, any of the others who are doing this. Just find your path, make your way, and get out there where you can and fulfill you. Because if you're trying to compare yourself to somebody else, well, now you're taking away from where your energy truly should be. And that is in the direction of where your life is. It's all relative. Your life is different than mine. We're on our own journeys. And we can, bump shoulders here and there and pound chest.
So all you listeners, you're welcome to our new co-host of Soul Seekers Podcast, Mr. Dave, because when I met you a year ago, it was like literally a soul connection. Looked into your eyes, and I was like, it's my dude.
It wasn't longingly. It was just a solid look.
It wasn't like oh my gosh, look at his beard and stuff. No, it was, I recognize you. I see you.
Right.
And then hearing you talk, like, lead with intention, lead with servitude. What was it? What did you say?
You live in service with good
values,
service, good morals, ethically, transparently, vulnerably.
So we talk about on this podcast all the time, you can never outgive good. We don't give good to get good, but when you are constantly just putting good out into the world, just things naturally boomerang.
Absolutely.
And then also that hunting has the power to transform lives through primal adventure. We hunt for multiple reasons. We hunt for ourselves. It is a selfish act. And that selfishness also is something that blesses so many other people.
Right.
When we're on airlines, they always say, hey, the oxygen masks are up above, and just remember to put your own oxygen mask on first before you take care of other people. I think a lot of people in this world they think they're giving, like they think they're in servitude, but at the same time, they're also not taking care of themselves. Mothers are like critically known for this.
Oh, yeah.
Like constantly give to the children, and then they're not actually fulfilling their own soul.
Well, they talk about, your cup needs to be filled, and whatever spilleth over
Yes.
into the saucer,
Yeah.
you can give to others. And so, it's interesting because I feel so blessed. But every morning when I wake up, it's in gratitude, and I have my path every single day,
Yeah.
which I am totally fulfilled. I don't get to hunt maybe but once a year, and usually that's bear in the spring after everybody else, unless I maybe draw a tag. But I've gotten to the point where I don't apply for tags hardly at all. Maybe a couple states just in case, because I'm usually on the mountain serving others, and that's where I'm primally fulfilled. I don't have to be the one filling the trigger, but I'm hunting and I'm giving back. And when, we like you talk about, I'm completely full from the moment I wake up in the morning, so everything else spills over all day.
Was this a mindset you just had? Like, young Dave at 8 years old was like, dude, this is just, look at these flowers, look at these mountains, look at the sky. You obviously have a spiritual side to you.
Right.
But like, where did this come from?
I've always been, I don't want to say so much a loner, a lone wolf, but I spent as a young kid a lot of time in the mountains, behind our house in the woods alone. And I think that's where I really came to the appreciation of the environment that I was in, even as a young age. But, we ebb and flow through life, and it wasn't until, probably over the last 15, maybe 20 years that I really dove deep into the acts of service. As a younger man, there can be a lot of selfishness, and, there's ego to things and so on and so forth. And, for me, it's a learned skill. But once you have that mindset and trained to hunt, taught me that a lot as well.
Okay.
Having grit, having heart, and having that grit helps you endure certain things, and those certain things can be emotional and physical and so on and so forth. So when I wake up in the morning and I start my day with this positivity, everything after that is just for the greater good. I don't know if that comes out right, but it's
I love it. So being a school teacher, I would share with my students this poster that says, "Gratitude makes everything enough."
I like that.
Gratitude makes everything enough. Like, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have this. Like, well, what do you have? Be grateful for it. And then when you're grateful for it, everything's enough.
Well, and it's not just, oh, I've got lots of money, I'm grateful for that. Oh, I've got a nice truck, it's grateful for that. I'm grateful for the fact that I can get in my truck.
Yes.
Beat up Chevy Colorado 2016. It's missing door handles on one side because a bear ripped them off. And it's got hail damage, and I'm grateful that I get to get in a truck that can get me to the gym in the morning, that can get me to the mountains. Is it flashy and everything? No. I'm grateful for my toothbrush in the morning. I'm grateful for that single cup of coffee.
Yeah.
That some guy on a street may go a week without a cup of coffee because he doesn't. If you find the little things to be grateful for. I'm grateful that I get to walk around the show floor. My feet don't hurt. My bones feel good. I've got the capacity in my lungs, the beat in my heart, the strength in my legs.
Yeah.
When you think about the little things, then everything after that is like, it's icing on the cake.
Just beautiful. So I reference this a lot when I teach, but also on podcasting. You ever seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Oh, yeah.
So when they're at the art museum, and Cameron's staring, like he's like inches away from the picture, and all you see is dots. So he is standing so close, but he's able to see the smallness. But out of that smallness, when you back up, you see this beautiful picture.
Right.
And so it's like, yeah, I'm grateful for the money. I'm grateful that I can pay my mortgage or stuff like that. But ultimately, go find those dots. Find the roots. Find the the origin of these things, and
exactly.
that'll blossom.
It's interesting because kind of a metaphor for that. My girlfriend and I, we have a huge attraction to the little things in nature. You know, we will find a leaf and we'll just look at that leaf as it's, you know, yellow or red and just the amazing little, you know, intricacies, the little cells, the small details that when you look at this beautiful, you know, aspen grove and everything's turning yellow and red, you know, that's amazing. But it's not until you pick up the leaf and go, those trillions of leaves out there, that's this small little bit is what it's
right.
So I'll be in the Mexican desert. You know, everything bites you, sticks you.
Everything's trying to kill you.
Everything's trying to kill you. You know, and you're walking along, and it's like nothing looks nice. But then you get to the smaller details, the tiniest little white flower that's growing out of these rocks, and the you know the way this cactus grows. It's a pain because it'll jump out and rip your arm off. But when you look at the details, you know, then it brings the greater picture.
Dude, we got so much to talk about, and obviously, so we're short on time because I have a seminar for black bear hunting that we're going to give.
Yeah, you're in service, giving back to others.
Yes, but there's so much I want to talk about. Like, we need to do a series together, and I think I've already done a soulful series before with a guy out of Eastern United States. His podcast is called The Inspired Way.
Yeah.
The symbols of buffalo, because a buffalo is unlike cows. Cows will run away from a storm. Buffaloes will run into a storm because they know that it's quicker to go through the storm to get to the other side.
Cows aren't very smart anyway.
No, right, right. And then when one goes, others join them, because when you lead with courage, it's contagious, and that contagion spreads like a wildfire. And all of a sudden, here we go. Let's do it. So we're gonna have to get another soulful series and just hit some topics. That way we can go deep, not so much shotgun effect and spread a wide net. I want to go deep.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know, even a 15, 20-minute session of you and I just sitting here, somebody's going to get that just a little segment of that short podcast.
Yeah.
And it's going to inspire them for that moment of the day, and they get to start off on a new foot.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a 2-hour podcast. If something like this just gives somebody that little tidbit to make a difference in somebody else's life, to pass on their knowledge, to be in service.
So check this out. Are you familiar with the butterfly alphabet?
No.
Did you know that the entire English language, A through Z, 0 through 9, is on the wings of butterflies?
I had no idea.
Yeah, mind-blowing. There's no coincidences in this life. And it's not until we stop and pause that we are like, oh my gosh, like that tree, what you're saying with the aspen tree's beautiful, this grove is beautiful. But you pick up that leaf and you see the pattern of nature within it, the thumbprint of this creator, of our God or universe, or however you want to identify with a greater purpose. Like, it's there. Check it out, butterfly alphabet.
I will. Actually, I'm not going to check it out. You're going to send it to me.
There we go. Done. Done. So, but that's the thing, is like, there are no coincidences. So stop fighting. I'd rather go with the flow, right? And where attention goes, energy flows.
Well, last year when we were standing there, I still remember where we were standing, and I looked into your eyes and say, what you think about, you draw in. What you focus on, you become. So when that is your mindset, I can have bad stuff go on throughout the day, but if my focus is always on the good stuff, and keeping things, you know, on a positive light, you know, that's all I'm going to draw in.
Yeah. What do you do to work on focusing on that? Because it's, you know,
it's a mindset. Like regressing.
Yeah.
Trained to hunt taught me a lot about having grit and having heart. Well, it's consistently training yourself to stay in that mindset, right? I think about once something negative starts coming in my mind, boom, squish it. Think about something positive.
Repetition.
It's a mindset. It's consistently doing something over and over. You might do it like once or twice a day, but then the next day, 1% increase, 4 times a day, and you just you keep following in that, and you squish it every time something comes up.
Ah, I like that. Muscle memory. Train yourself. Train yourself to live the life you want.
Right.
Identify what you want first, and actually hold yourself accountable.
Yep.
How can you lead anyone else if you can't lead yourself?
Lead yourself every day.
Dude.
So, it's good to see you, man.
Dude, it's great to see you. I want to leave you with something, and I don't have this complete because I'm pulling from my memory. So, marks of a champion. This is my father came up with this. Marks of a champion. So, champion pays an extra price to be better than everyone else. Now, this is from the sports aspect. So, he was a football coach and all that. So, either you're getting better or you're getting worse, and you got to constantly be working, striving to getting better. First known quality of man is courage. Everyone has it. It's whether or not you want to flex it. So, you acronym of champion, C stands for courage. H stands for humility. Start with courage, then follow with humility. Oh, dude, look at you. You're doing it. You're doing it. Yes, I am. And we're humble. Servitude, right? C-H-A, man, I want to say attitude or something like that. Anyway, so I'm going to have to go through. I'm going to send you this as well, Marks of a Champion. But it kind of just made me think, like, iron sharpens iron.
Absolutely.
So
that's the best emoji, the two blades crossing.
Yes. So the countenance of one friend to another. And when we are together, you make me want to be a better human.
Likewise.
You make me want to sharpen myself and stay sharp, and stay gritty, and be like, all right, Dave, what are you grateful for? What are you ready for? Let's do this. We got to do a Soulful series at some point.
Yeah.
We're going to knock it out.
It's always good to come back to Expo and see everybody, but let's not make it another year before we get to spend some time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What if you had a message, like wrap it up, like Dave Beronio, what do you want to share with the world?
Geez, that's putting me on the spot because I think the message is just lead with your heart, follow your heart, be in service to others.
Yeah,
and you can never go wrong.
Never. I love it, brother. Thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely. We'll get on here soon again too.
You're savage. I love it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in this episode, Dave. By the way, how can people connect with you if they want to book a hunt with you or anything like that? Or
yeah, they can reach out to me. Basically, the only thing I really do is Instagram. As a guide, I work for other outfitters, so the booking would be done through them usually. But they can find me at Hollywood Dave OO for Outback Outdoors.
On Instagram.
On Instagram.
There you go.
And that's really the only place you can find me. And I may not be on there for a month, so if I don't get back to you right away, just understand that I'm off on a soulful journey.
Yes.
Seeking my soul, and I've got social media turned down.
Brother, I got a sticker for you, a little Soul Seeker sticker, so that
an I voted sticker.
Dude, yes. So that when you're out in the woods, you can continue seeking those souls.
It's good to see you, Mac.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in this episode. If you liked it, go ahead and share it. That's the best way to support this podcast, support the show, support the mission, because remember, hunting has the power to transform lives through primal adventure, and that mentorship is conservation. If you want hunting to last for generations to come, you got to invest in the lives and hearts of other people, because you can never outgive good. Once again, thank you so much. I'm Johnny Mac, Dave Beronio. Freedom on, everybody, and stay soulful. If you enjoyed today's podcast and want to support the show, you can always like, share, subscribe, and leave a rating, as it helps us share our mission of mentorship is conservation. Thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of Soul Seekers Nation as we transform lives through primal adventure. If you want to get more connected with the podcast, check out the Soul Seekers Nation Facebook group, as I look forward to connecting with you on the next episode. So stay tuned and stay soulful.